Good morning. What is the problem? Yeah, but I don't hear you. It's not clear. I don't understand what's the problem at your end. Lot of echo. Huh? Yeah, there are a lot of echo, and I don't understand. Is it actually, am I, audible or not? It's nothing is clear here, right? Okay. Is it already projected on the screen? Okay. So can we start the program? So yeah, do it, right? I'm already perfect. Okay. So you can start it, right? And it's somehow it's not clear here, right? Okay. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Is it now audible, sir?
Yeah.
Hello, good morning, sir. Now it is audible, sir.
It's kind of breaking. I don't understand, but exactly let me know when I should start, okay? I'm ready to start.
Sir, sorry for the technical issues, sir. We will start the program now, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Bismillahir
Now it is
Rahmanir
audible,
Rahim.
sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. The name of Allah, the most benevolent and merciful. Another new day, another
Sir,
opportunity,
good morning,
add
sir.
on
Now it
positivity,
is audible, sir.
subtract negativity, and let's multiply our hopes to reach the pinnacle of success. In behalf of
Good morning,
PG
sir. Now
and
is it
Research
audible, sir?
Department of Mathematics of Jamal Muhammad College, I feel blessed in welcome you all to celebrate the belated International Mathematics Day. Once again, I welcome you all. A day without prayer is a day without blessings, and a life without prayer is a life without power. No one has failed who keeps trying and praying. So I'm damn sure no program will be prosperous and successful unless we begin with the verses of Almighty. So I request Muhammad Naufal of 2nd MSc Mathematics to recite few verses from Holy Quran. Please, friends. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد صدق الله العليم. Thank you, friend. We are blessed indeed. Welcoming is the noblest act of every function. We welcome the future, remembering that soon it will be the past, and we must respect the past, remembering that it was once all that humanly possible. Welcoming is a tradition in Jamal. So now I request Ashraf Khan of First Basic Mathematics to welcome the gathering. Please, friend.
Good morning and warm greetings to everyone gathered here. It is indeed a great pleasure to admit this greeting. Small cheers and great welcome makes a merry face. So I proudly welcome you all to this special lecture. On behalf of PG and Research Department of Mathematics, I welcome the resource person, Dr. Felix Bast, Professor and Head, Department of Botany, Central University of Punjab. I welcome you, sir. I feel blessed to invite our department HOD, Dr. Zahir Hussain, sir, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, Jamal Muhammad College. I welcome you, sir. I extend my welcome to all faculties, teaching and non-teaching staffs, research scholars, and my dear friends who are gathered here to add radiance to this occasion. Once again, I welcome you all.
Thank you, friend. Now I request Muhammad Imtiaz of 3rd BSc Mathematics to welcome the Honorable Chief Guest of today's program. Please, friend. Ghudda, Bathinda, Punjab. He is a member of the Carnal expert of the International Science Council, Paris, France. He was born in Kerala. His education was from Government Boys High Secondary School, Payyanur. He hold a BSc first, the first rank from Carnal University. His MSc was from the University of Madras, Guindy campus. Subsequently, he joined as a CSIR, Senior Research Fellow at the Department of Chemical Engineering, IIT Bombay. In 2015, he left the PhD position at IITB to accept the prestigious Monbukahu International PhD Fellowship from Japanese government, nominated through the Ministry of Education, Government of India. He completed PhD in marine biology from Kochi University, Shikoku Island, Japan as next scholar and has been working at the university from 2010 onwards. He done his the area of molecular systematics, taxonomy, algae, polar biology, and science communication. He discovered 7 new plant species and explored major coastal interior habits of India, Japan, UK, Scandinavia, and northwestern US, and Canada, and 23 country more. Exploration team member of 36th Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica. To talk about his recognition and awards, he is elected a National Core Committee of INSA and INYAS. He is being recognized as Inspired Teaching and invited residence intern with the President of India at Rashtrapati Bhavan, the New Delhi. Also, he received a Teacher Innovative Award. He received NAM and ZMT, Germany International Guest Scientist Award from Japanese government. He does not feel proud because of the award. The award feels proud because of him. He has guided many PhD scholars and also he have conducted many workshops, seminars and conference. We feel so proud to have you virtually over here. Now Sir is going to special lecture on kernel maintenance of data science. So the students are eager to knowledgeable words from you. I request you, sir, to take over the platform, and the platform is yours. Please, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Prasanna, and everybody here. I can see that Dr. Muhammad Ashik as well. And yes, so it's my honor to be spending next an hour with all of you to interact. And I hope we can make this more an interactive session. And yes, so if you have any questions in your mind, please write down in the course of my talk, right? I'm going to talk on key mantras of data science. I don't know how many of you know about this data science or statistics. Yes, of course, we have mathematics students in the program, right? And as per my understanding, what Prasanna told me, this audience is like half for mathematics and half is from Department of Botany. So for the uninformed, the data science is how to interpret, how to make use of the data that we generated. How to summarize the data. For example, if you conduct an experiment on your plants, or if you simply take, a class test. So how do you summarize the data? And especially this is very important if you have a very large data set, like thousands of people or thousands of plants, like vaccine trial, COVID-19 vaccine. There are lakhs of people in it, right? So how do you summarize it and how to make inferences about it? So statistics deals with two things. One is data summarization, and the another one is inferential statistics, making inferences about the data, like testing, is a significance level is statistically significant or not. For example, boys and girls. So somebody says that boys are more intelligent than girls. Okay, let us test it out. And based on the test, we disprove that hypothesis. So that is what is this called inferential statistics. So data is everywhere. The so-called big data in this 21st century, the time management is mostly done by companies, right? Algorithm decide what you are going to purchase next. So it is highly philosophical question. I don't want to delve more onto it. So if you're really interested, please search out something called free will. So is free will a fallacy or not? So many of the philosophers agree that there is nothing called free will. So that means that if you want to, for example, if you ever searched in Amazon for some product or Google for some product, you're going to get lots of targeted advertisement that, would you like to buy this or that, so yes, so that is what is happening. The data is everywhere. For example, biometrics, the fingerprint sensor, isn't it, that we use to unlock our phone. So how to make use of this data or the facial recognition data, right? That is called the data science. So I came here with a small presentation. I hope my presentation is visible on the screen. Can someone please confirm? Okay, so key mantras of science. So data science. So the most important mantra or the concept, mantra is basically nothing but it's an English word. Okay, it is, of course, it's coming from Sanskrit, but it is an English word. So mantra means the key concept. So the most important concept which I really love a lot, and I would say this is what the statistics is all for, or the data science is all for. It's called ECREE, ECREE. That is called, that the statement is that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidences or extraordinary proof. It is, it's stated by Carl Sagan, very famous science communicator and a scientist, astronomer, from the United States, from Princeton. And yes, so Carl Sagan's famous quotes, this summarizes the entire purpose of statistics and mathematical biology and hypothesis testing. For example, a fellow in our town, one of the township in, let us say, Salem, and he claims that, well, I can cure AIDS. Oh, that is a very big proof, very big claim that the person is making, right? So such a huge or tall claim with substantial repercussions, it's the onus is on him to prove it, to provide the evidences that his drug works. Same thing with any of these alternative medicine, the tall promises that a person making, like I can cure COVID-19 with some plant extracts from the Himalaya. Well, you may able to play, you may able to treat it, but it's your responsibility to provide the evidence for it, the proof for it. Are you getting the point? So this concept in philosophy is something called burden of proof. And this kind of burden of proof argument is by famous British philosopher of science, Bertrand Russell. So Russell, he made a thought experiment. So Bertrand Russell, of course, is a mathematician plus philosopher, right? And Russell said, okay, there is a teapot. He called it as Russell's teapot. And he says that there is a teapot in between the orbits of Jupiter and Mars, two planets. So what is there actually in between Jupiter and Mars? There is an asteroid belt, lots of asteroids everywhere. Yesterday was another asteroid. If you're actually space enthusiast, all you need to do is just go to your terrace and enjoy the show, the celestial show. I love sky watching. I don't know how many of you really like sky watching. It costs you nothing really. Just go and enjoy the show, the drama in the space. So yes, asteroid belts are it's existing in between Jupiter and Mars. And then Russell claimed that there is a teapot inside that asteroid. Asteroid, as you know, it is nothing but rocks, right? And Russell made a claim. There is a teapot among the asteroid which is revolving the sun. That is a big, substantial claim. I would say extraordinary claim. And can anybody invalidate it? In philosophy it's called falsification. If you make some assumption or a claim, somebody else will try to falsify it. So if is anybody capable of falsifying such claim? Not really, because even with our super powerful telescope, we cannot say for sure that there is no such a teapot revolving the sun, because it is so small, tiny fraction, right? Even with our a big telescope, we cannot disclaim it. And that is the reason the Russell said it's whoever is making that kind of tall claim, it is his responsibility, his or her onus to claim it, to provide evidences or proof for such tall claim. So that is very, very important. So that is what the entire statistics is for, isn't it? That is a key mantra of data science. So how good the proof is. For example, the vaccine for COVID-19 works. Covishield or Bharat Biotech's Covaxin, it works. Now the question is, okay, do you have evidence? Show me the evidence. Show me how good quality evidence you have. These are the questions, friends, you should have. Don't take anything for granted. There is nothing called wisdom unless you know it. You're satisfied with the proof and evidences. You cannot take anything for granted. That is what the second standard is all about. There is a related concept in philosophy, Hitchens' razor, by again a stalwart of philosophy, Christopher Hitchens. He said, what can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. For example, I do a lot of science communication, and I had a very interesting experience in Kerala. It is in a village library I went in, and a small girl, she stood up in the Q&A session, question and answer session. She asked me, sir, I'm really scared of ghosts. My parents always say there are ghosts, and my classmate also say there are ghosts. So, sir, are there any ghosts? What is your opinion? Very, very cute question it was. Yes, my answer is Hitchens' razor. Anything without any evidence can be simply dismissed without any evidence. We don't have not a single evidence for ghosts. And what is the point of substantiating that claim, looking for the evidence? Nothing. No, that such arguments do not even require your precious time. Human life is very less, very short, and we have better utility for our lifetime. So anything that is asserted without evidence, for example, faith healing. Just by prayer, any disease will be solved, it will be cured. So if such prayers work, then why do you want to study? In the school, why you want to study for the exam, preparing for the exam and solving it, right? So such thing doesn't merit any attention, friends. It's you have to work on it. That is the only way to achieve the heights. you know so anything that can be asserted without evidence, like faith healing, can also be dismissed without evidence. That is Hitchens standard. And correlation, of course, is very, very powerful. Correlation means something is related to the other. For example, botany students here, sunlight is correlated with the plant growth. No, it's a positive correlation, no, to a certain limit, right? Of course, there is a limit, isn't it? And yes, so salinity is negatively correlated. As salinity increases, plant growth decreases. So correlation is very, very powerful in data science. There are actually studies that says that probability, like for example, if you buy, I don't know how many of you like jeans. I'm sure in this audience I can see many of the boys wearing jeans. Well, I don't see it, I'm just imagining. So if you buy jeans from well-known brand rather than generic cheap jeans, or if you buy bird feed means, it is to feed the birds, right? If you really like the nature and feed the bird, you're purchasing the bird feed, and you're simply feeding the nature, you know or you buy carbon monoxide monitor for your home. I don't know how many of you have this carbon monoxide monitor. Carbon monoxide is smellless gas, and you will never know you're exposed to carbon monoxide. It's highly toxic. And unless you have carbon dioxide is absolutely fine. Okay, carbon monoxide monitor, if you have your home, then you can be prepared for the exigencies, right? So these three facts: one, purchase of branded jeans; second, purchase of bird feed; and the third, purchase of this carbon monoxide monitor, is correlated with good credit. So basically the credit card, how it works, right? Many people default the credit card payment, right? That means that the people will not even pay the its credit card is like a loan, isn't it? So people who buy these three things are correlated with good credit history. That means that they will never default. They always pay their credit card fee. That is very, very interesting. There is a very interesting paper from Russian scientists. What they discussed is that just by looking 100 Facebook likes, the algorithms can predict the personality of a spouse much better than uh, its own partner. Husband's future liking, the algorithms can predict much better than what wife knows of him. See how powerful the correlation have become, or this correlation regression quite related concept, right? So these algorithms, these artificial intelligence, these are something called machine learning or artificial intelligence, right? So it learns by looking at the training data, right? So this is extremely powerful correlation, friends. And you don't really know how it works to make inferences out of correlation. For example, airport sniffer dog. If you go to the airport, for example, Trichy airport or Chennai airport, you can see some sniffer dogs around, right? These dogs can sniff contraband goods, for example, bomb or drugs like cocaine. If your bag contains cocaine, the dogs can sniff it because they're trained. So how does it work? Do we know how exactly the neurological mechanism in which the dogs can detect cocaine or dogs can detect bomb? No, we don't know. All we know is that it works. Dogs can sniff out. The trained sniffer dogs can sniff out the drugs and other contraband goods. So that is the beauty of correlation. You don't really need to know exact molecular mechanism. Academicians might try how the birds fly, but it doesn't have much of the significance, friends. Significance is on the correlation, the predictive power of it. If I know that the dogs are very good at working at this, if we have excellent evidence to substantiate the claim, Remember the Carl Sagan standard? Yes. So if you have it, then make use of it. You don't really need to know exactly the intricacies, how it works. For example, in modern medicine, many people criticize modern medicine as allopathy. No, allopathy itself is a derogatory word uh, coined out by Samuel Hahnemann, that homeopath, So in modern medicine, many drugs, we still don't know how it works. All we know that it works. And that is why it has been integrated into the modern medicine. One example is digoxin. It is a hard drug. My mother takes it. By the way, my mom survived her, 9 open heart surgeries. She's living with on her 4th pacemaker. And she also had recently 4th stage cancer. She's surviving. All because of science. I'm thankful to the science. Science works because science look at how good the quality of evidence is. There is no dogma in science, friends. So yes, or Taxol, Plaxitaxel, the famous chemotherapeutic drug, which is coming from Taxol. Taxol itself is coming from a tree. You know, so it is basically most of the modern medical drugs are coming from plants. People think these are synthetic chemical. No, it is not. Most of the drugs, if you go to the allopathic, that term itself I don't like. Yes, these are coming from plants, and we don't know even now how it really works. For example, aspirin. How exactly aspirin works? Salicylic acid, right? We don't know. All we know is that it works. Correlation, friends. It is super powerful, but beware of confounding. There is another very big issue with the correlation. So just by looking at something is correlated doesn't mean that factor X is contributing to the factor Y. I can give you a simple example. There is a lot of studies that shows that if you eat salad, you live longer. Salad is correlated with life expectancy in numerous studies. Again, there is a confounding here. What is the confounding factor here? Because if you eat salad, you're already following so many of the good practices in your life. For example, people who eat salad also tend to exercise more. People who eat salad also tend to be non-smoker. People who eat salad also tend to be non-drinkers. So all these things are coming in a batch, So that is why if you say that people who eat salad live longer, that is fine. But salad is only factor that actually contribute to the life expectancy. That is wrong. Of course, salad is important. If you don't eat salad, please do eat salad. Fibers are really good for your gut microbial health, right? So confounding is extremely important. One example is that in 1995, there is a very famous study that shows a strong prevalence of breast cancer in rich developed countries. For example, Japan or Germany, super powerful and super rich countries, they also have a lot of breast cancer. Why? Then immediately after this study came out, journalists started writing it is sedentary lifestyle. Rich have a lot of comfort. They always travel in car, and they are always sitting on the chair and working. Office workers, they don't move their body, no exercise, and they eat a lot of fast food, the so-called junk food. you know that is the reason why rich countries, developed countries like Japan and Germany have a lot of breast cancer. What is your opinion? Why so such breast cancer is high in developed countries? Think of it. I would like to invite one of the participants to share your views on it. Anybody from BSc Botany semester 5? Anybody? Think of it. I would like to know what is your thought about it. Speak out. Or anyone in the audience. Am I audible? Is there any technical issues?
Sir.
Yeah. Can anyone tell me why it is so? I hope it's clear to you, right? What I asked. Study says there's a lot of breast cancer in rich developed countries comparing with poor countries. Yes, you might think this way, right? Sedentary lifestyle or junk food habit, but the real reason was something other factor that they completely avoided. The third factor that is contributing to both of these things is the free and compulsory mammogram. Mammogram is a screening for breast cancer, you know. So all the ladies, even school children, post, you know, of course, menarche, right? They have to undergo annual breast cancer screening, which is mammogram, which is completely free, and it is, you know, they make it compulsory, not excuse. You cannot say my religion will not allow me to go for this screening. No, such countries are completely a free country, you know. So because of that, they can afford it. They're rich people. They can afford for free and compulsory mammogram. More and more breast cancer cases are being came out because they screen a lot. Cases are high, like what we have seen in COVID-19 time. Some states don't even screen. They don't have even resources. They have no money to screen. And naturally, COVID-19 cases will be low. So unless you test it, how will you know that the cases are high? Are you getting the point? So this is what is happening. This is called confounding. Let me tell you another example. In 1998, there is a very interesting study that shows strong association between ice cream sales and higher incidences of drowning. So drowning is death by water, you know. So like for example, during swimming, people can die, right? That is called drowning, isn't it? Everybody knows it, I'm sure. So the study looked at various states, and whenever the ice cream sales goes up, so as drowning cases. Then they said that eating ice cream is a factor that causes drowning. Causality. No, that is not the right. There is another factor involved. Anyone from the audience can tell me what is that factor? Yes, I think you're guessing it right. Please tell me. I would like to know about it. What is that factor? I'm not going to speak unless someone answers this. It's very simple. It's intuitive thinking. Think yourself. And maybe your answer is wrong. No problem. I don't have any issues. And don't be shy. Speak it out. Anybody in your or in this audience, go to that mic and speak out. What do you think? Why so? What is that extraneous factor contributing both ice cream sales and drowning? Anyone? Am I audible?
Audible, sir.
Yes. Please ask any of your students to tell me what is that, what the she or he thinks the reason for this association or correlation. The concept of statistical confounding, friends, is extremely important. And unless you understand the confounding, then the entire data science make no sense. The entire correlation or AI based regression or machine learning, everything is, it doesn't make any sense unless you know and understand what confounding is. And it's intuitive. You don't really need a high-fi statistics to understand. If you ask the same question to your mother or your father, I'm sure your mother understand what is happening here. It's intuitive thinking. Think of it. I'm still waiting for the answer. What is happening? Why ice cream sale is correlated with drowning? Anybody please speak out. As nobody is saying, I'm forced to speak out, right? There is no other way of option because I have to complete this talk. So what is happening is very, very simple. After this class, please write down this question on your notebook and you ask this question to your mother at home. I'm sure your mother will be able to answer this. Answer is very simple. Ice cream sale, usually ice cream sale go up during summer months, right? Not in winter. People don't like to eat cold stuff in the winter months, right? During the peak summer, ice cream sale goes up. So as during the peak summer, people go for water sports like swimming, or surfing, going to the beach. So usually in winter, nobody likes to go for this kind of water sports, like Thunder. What do you call it? There's a water theme park, right? Yeah, in Mettupalayam, right? That was very, very famous for people from Kerala. We used to go there. So yeah, so the water theme park also sales go up during summer months. So that is the reason. The factor is season that is contributing to both ice cream sale and drowning. It is not that one causes the another. Such causality is wrong. Correlation does not mean causation. A key mantra of data science. So yet another example is that there are fourfold fatal accidents by motorcycles in India compared with the cars. Cars accidents are very less. Motorcycle accidents are very so much, Therefore, motorcycles are not safe. Buy a car instead of a motorcycle. Again, there is another variable here. How many of you know that there are 4 or even 6 times more motorcycle on the street than car? Cars are less. So as accidents will also be less, right? If you simply look without normalizing, just look at the raw data, then naturally that is what you expect. Car accidents will be less than motorcycle accidents, So that is what the extraneous factor that is contributing, that is called confounding, friends. And also another very important mantra is something called Occam's razor. What is that all about? Many people equate complexity, if very complicated equation, third order differential equation is so much better than simple linear equation. No, nothing like that. Sometimes simplicity is better than complicated solutions. Why you want to go for a non-linear regression if a simple linear regression better explains the data? So parameter rich complicated model means usually it's an equation, no, in the regression, right? Might not be optimal. Sometimes the simple equations explain the data better than complex model. So it's a razor, you can apply in your life too. Instead of simply going for complicated solution, go for simple and elegant solutions. For example, if you drink alcohol and if you smoke, and then you justify, oh well, I have a very expensive health insurance that covers liver transplantation as well as lung transplantation. Is it a good solution? No. Much more simpler solution exists. Do not smoke, do not drink. As simple as that. Many of the advancement we can achieve in our life by removing these vices, these negative influences from our life rather than simply making your life more complicated. Another example, you drive a four-wheel drive very big car to come to your college, and you take elevator going up and down, not stair, elevator. And then you're sitting in an air conditioned room, and finally when evening comes, take the elevator down, take four-wheel drive back home, and then drive again to an air conditioned gym where you're doing this stationary bicycle ride, inside the gym. All such complication, friends. Vanity. Instead, why don't you try to come to your office on a cycle? And instead of taking this, step up machine in the gym, why don't you simply take the stairs in your workplace? This is a very important mantra. It's called Occam's razor. All things being equal, simplest solution tend to be the best one. Instead of going for complicated solutions, just stick with simple solutions. Most often, simple solutions are always elegant. It's like a razor, if you're a man listening to this, I'm sure many are boys. If you're purchasing a razor, shaving razor, if one blade razor gives you a very nice shave, why you want to go for two blade? Okay, let us say two blade is giving you a little bit better shave. How about three blade? Fine. Let us say, okay, let me stop at four blade razor, the best razor. How about fifth, sixth, seven, eight? There are actually shaving razors available up to 12 razor blades. You will not even imagine. Search it out in Amazon. 12 razor, shavers. Nonsense, right? So even just one razor, our forefathers have been living with just one shaver and gives some very nice shave without any nicks, or they're not dying because of this shaving related injuries, right? Then why you want to go for such complicated solutions? I would like to end this talk with yet another Carnal mantra. It's called GIGO principle. GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. So if your data itself is nonsense, then whatever be the statistical operations, non-linear regression or principal component analysis, nothing is going to work. So number one principle in data science is high quality data. The data has to be extremely high quality in order for to make meaningful inferences from it. If the data itself is wrong, you cannot make any inferences out of it. Yes, I'm open for any questions you have. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to spend this time with you. And yes, so this is now the time for the discussion. Yes. Can you able to hear me? Rifayat?
Yes, sir, it's audible, sir.
So it's Q&A session. So please ask your students to ask me the questions. All the teachers, if you have any questions or clarifications, you're welcome.
So no questions. We conclude.
Yes.
There is always, always, and always something to be thankful for. Thank you is the best prayer that anyone could say. The word thank you expresses extreme gratitude, humility, and understanding. No program ends without the precious word thank you. So I request Adnan of first basic mathematics to propose the vote of thanks. Please, student.
So we have reached the end of this beautiful session. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty for making today's session a great success. On behalf of PG and Research Department of Mathematics, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Felix Bast, Professor and Head Department of Botany, Central University of Punjab. I must thank our HOD sir for his support and guidance for organizing such an event. Thank you, sir, for assisting and encouraging us. Finally, I thank our students for your kind cooperation. Once again, I thank you all.
Thank you so much for having me, and I wish you very best. Take care. Goodbye.